I am Dr. Saroj Kumar, Assistant Professor, Central University of South Bihar, Gaya. The topic I am going to deal with is related to, already it has been discussed in, some part of it has been discussed in the presidential address in the inaugural session. So the topic, it came in my mind when I teach my students as undergraduate student and postgraduate student in Central University of South Bihar. There I found that more numbers of students, they are coming from English medium schools, and then I thought to go for a study to find out what is the reality. So what I looked at is whether English as a medium of instruction at a school level gives any advantage to students in getting admission in primarily the premier educational institution funded by central government. And I will also try to understand the general tendency and directionality of medium instruction vis-a-vis enrollment in premier higher educational institution. So for that, it's a case study. So I limited myself to one central university, which is of course the university I teach because it was convenient for me. The methodology, it's a case study design, and it's a quantitative study. And the sampling method I adopted was convenience sampling method. I took 332 respondents, out of which 196 was male and 136 was female, and they were from undergraduate, postgraduate, and PhD program. I used close-ended questionnaire to collect the data, and the questionnaire was administered through Google form. For analysis of the data, I use IBM SPSS. But since it is a case study and limited to only one university, so of course this study has some limitation. For example, this study has been conducted in only one university, hence it is difficult to generalize the findings of the study strongly. However, the findings do provide a general trend about the role of medium instruction in getting admission in premier higher educational institution. The study lacks internal validity partially, as a medium of instruction may not be the only region or criterion for getting admission to the university. There are some other possibilities, like most of the students who study in Hindi or regional languages medium schools come from financially weaker section of society, and it's difficult for them to carry out their higher educational institution. So in the three, what I did first, I went for the frequency analysis to find out or look at English medium at one hand and Hindi and the other regional medium at the other. So I went for three level. It means the primary level, secondary level, and senior secondary level. For every respondent, I looked at all the three levels. So this is the frequency analysis at, I think there is some problem. So this is for secondary level, and this is for senior secondary level. So that is the data. So
yeah, none of your slides are not moving. It's stuck at the first slide. Just be aware of that. Yeah.
Still, it is first.
All right. Yeah. Fine. Yeah. Now it's okay. That came. It came now. This is at the secondary level. I can see the
secondary level, and then this is the example of senior secondary level.
Okay.
So the frequency analysis of the data shows that the students who study in English medium schools are more likely to get admission in the university. The data shows that about out of 332 students, 215, 14, 64.5% get their primary education in English medium, and 118, 35.5% in Hindi and regional language medium. The percentage of English medium students increases slightly when we look at the data for medium instruction at secondary level. The percentage of English medium and Hindi or regional language medium are 72.6% and 27.4% respectively. As far as the medium of instruction at the secondary level is concerned, the percentage of a student who study in English medium schools where the medium of instruction is Hindi or regional languages is least, that is 20.5%. It means some of the students who studied in Hindi or regional languages medium shifted to English medium schools during their school education. At the same time, there is no evidence of the vice versa. It means they have not shifted from Hindi to sorry, from English to Hindi medium. The average percentage of English medium students and Hindi or regional language medium of all the three levels would be 72.2% for English medium for all the three levels, primary, secondary and senior secondary, and for Hindi and regional language it is 27.8% respectively. The data clearly indicates that those who study in English medium schools share 72.2% of the seats in the university, and the rest 28.8% is for Hindi medium and other regional languages medium. According to Nagarajan 2021, about 26% of students study in a school where the medium of instruction is English in India. That is the national average, 26% only. It means that 74% of the students study in schools where the medium of instruction is either Hindi or regional languages. The majority of the students in Central University of South Bihar, the case for this study, come from the state like Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Orissa, etc. In these states, the percentage of students who study in English medium schools is far below than the national average. For example, only 10% of the students study in English medium school in Bihar and 5.6 in West Bengal. Getting an opportunity to enroll in a good higher educational institution, particularly in any centrally funded educational institution, is one of the key things to have good career prospects in India. As we have seen in the analysis, when it comes to the admission of premier higher educational institution, the students who study in Hindi or regional language medium schools have a significant disadvantage. There is a possibility that they are unable to score good marks in the entrance examination. Another reason for low enrollment could be because those who study in Hindi or regional languages medium are less likely to pursue.
Excuse me, Mr. Saroj.
Yes, sir.
Please, your slides are not working properly. You press F5 to your system.
Sir, actually, I have shown the data, and on the basis of data, I'm just trying to tell the analysis. Once I will switch, then I will change it.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So another reason for low enrollment could be because those who study in Hindi or regional language medium are less likely to pursue higher education or apply to prestigious university. So now we are going to move in the another variable. Now we will look at whether medium of instruction is influenced by some of the variables like gender, program of the study, and the categories. So first of all, we are going to look at gender. So now we look at to determine if gender, program, it means the three levels, and students categories have anything to do with the medium of instruction or not. So we will do this by putting some of the null hypotheses to test. The first null hypothesis is that there is no significant difference between the gender of the respondents and their medium of instruction at the school levels. In order to test this null hypothesis, I have done the chi-square test, and the result is generally in chi-square test we look at the p-value and alpha value. The p-value for primary, secondary and senior secondary level are 0.0698, 0.530 and 0.64 respectively for all the three levels. All the three levels p-value are greater than the alpha value. Therefore, it can be said that the chi-square test result confirms the null hypothesis. It means gender does not have any significant relationship to the medium of instruction at school level. However, there is a slightly, male student, they slightly come more from English medium school than that of their female counterpart. But however, the data shows that there is no statistically significant difference. The other independent variable for the study is program level, undergraduate level, postgraduate level, and MPhil and PhD level. The null hypothesis that we are going to test is that the program levels of the student do not have any statistically significant relationship to the medium of instruction of the student at the school level. Once again, we will have to look at the Pearson chi-square test. The p-value for all the three levels is 0.003, 0.000, and 0.059 respectively. It means the p-value for primary and secondary level is less than the alpha value, whereas the senior secondary level, the p-value is more than the alpha value. The data shows that the null hypothesis is rejected and the alternate hypothesis is accepted for medium of instruction at the primary level and secondary level. But the null hypothesis is accepted for senior secondary level. It means there is a statistically significant difference between program levels and medium of instruction at primary level and secondary level. But there is no statistically significant difference between the program levels and medium of instruction at the senior secondary level. In other words, there is a significant association between program levels and medium of instruction at primary and secondary level, but not at the senior secondary level. So that is the graph you can see here on the screen. It is for primary level. I beg your pardon. This is the graph for primary level. This is the graph for secondary level. And this is the graph for senior secondary level.
I think we have another 3 minutes to make the main presentation part.
Yes, sir, I am about to finish. The above data can be interpreted in multiple ways. As the data shows, the number of English medium students start decreasing and the number of Hindi medium students start increasing if we move from undergraduate to research level. One possibility is that the students who come from English medium school, they get job opportunity earlier and they do not go for further higher education and research. The other interpretation is that the students who come from Hindi and regional language medium schools have an interest in research and further study, and many more interpretation maybe, and these things need to be tested further with some other pieces of study. The next null hypothesis is that, and last one is that, there is no statistically significant difference between the categories UR, EWS, OBC, SC, and ST of the students and their medium of instruction at the school level. The p-value of the chi-square test for all the three levels are 0.003, 0.001, and 0.047 respectively. The p-value in all the three levels here are less than the alpha value. It means the null hypothesis is rejected and the alternate hypothesis is accepted. There is a strong evidence that there is a statistically significant difference between the category of the student and the medium of instruction at primary and secondary level. However, in the case of medium of instruction at the senior secondary level, there is a less strong evidence since the difference between the p-value and the alpha value is less. In other words, the analysis of the data shows an association of the categories of the student and their medium of instruction at school level. At the primary level, the graph shows that 74.2% and 71.8% of the students of unreserved category and EWS categories respectively come from English medium school. In the case of OBC and SC and ST, the percentage is 58.6, 44.7 and 40% respectively. It shows that for unreserved and EWS categories, more students come from English medium schools, whereas in the case of OBC, it is slightly more in terms of observed value and calculated value, expected values, I beg your pardon. As for SC/ST categories are concerned, it shows just the opposite result. For these two categories, more students belong to Hindi and regional languages medium schools. Almost similar result we have for this secondary level as well. If you look at the graph of the senior secondary level, the results are similar in general, EWS and OBC category, but different for SC and ST. Here we can observe that more students come from English medium schools in the case of SC and ST as well. One of the reasons behind this difference is in Bihar and few other states, senior secondary classes were used to and still are run in colleges. For science subject, most students prefer English as their medium of instruction, primarily for reading textbook and writing examination. One thing can be easily noticed that at the senior secondary level, the gap of percentage between English medium and Hindi
Yeah,
and
but this is the time Saroj is now up in say.
just
I have only one small inquiry from you.
I'm sorry, sir. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Let me conclude.
All right,
30
all right,
seconds.
all right,
30
all right.
seconds. So the conclusion finding is roughly 72% of the students enrolled in the Central University of South Bihar have completed their school education in English medium schools. The students who attend English, Hindi or regional languages medium schools have a lower chance of being admitted to prestigious higher educational institutions. Gender does not have any statistically significant relation to the medium instruction of the students. There is a significant drop in the percentage of the students who come from English medium schools if we move from undergraduate to MPhil or research level. The study suggests that in SC/ST categories, more students come from Hindi and regional language schools. So thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
I only have one question. I mean, for the children who come from the Hindi medium background, do they take different subjects? Do they choose different subjects in the college, or because that to me would have an interest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Particularly, I would like to give example from one. We have a BA B.Ed course, integrated one, and there they have option that they can go for either Hindi or English. There are two bifurcation. Earlier it was 3, Hindi, English and Urdu, but now we have only 2. And there, though the student who go for Hindi, they are coming from only from Hindi medium background.
Okay.
That is the case.
All right.